if you had asked me who the top 4 teams was of 2020 in OCE, Ground Zero, Renegades, Cringe Society, Mind Freak. None of these teams are in the top 4 today. It's semi-final time here at the RLO Masters, and 4 surprises, in a sense. You could argue that the Direwolves were probably favored on this day against Mind Freak, but the results are the same. Solicit, Forbidden, Fenrir, Direwolves. One of these 4 teams are going to take our first RLO tournament, and it feels so up in the air.
Oh, yeah, I have absolutely no idea on this one. Like, oh my god, you kind of gave us a bit of a look at how you thought this match the current match we're about to look at is going to go. But just taking a look at across the bracket in general, my god, Solicit versus Forbidden. You said that Forbidden were definitely a team to watch. They've beaten, Canberra Havoc. They've taken them out already, 3-1. Pretty dominant effort. Solicit was the big news that upset, 3-2, taking it to all 5 games as well. But there it is. That's such huge news. These 2 teams, I'd love to see how they go. You called Fenrir Forbidden as the grand final, right? That was your call.
Yeah, I said it.
25% of circumstances, that's it, right?
You know what? I'm going to throw a challenge out there, Timmy. Like, honestly, if it turns into a Forbidden Fenrir final, I want you to go back to my Twitter and bring up that little graphic I made last night, because I think that will be very, very relevant if we get there. But no, it's definitely going to be an interesting one moving forward. I still feel like the Direwolves are going to be our favorite in this situation. But before we get into our next matchup, just something I would like to address from kind of a more personal place, actually, on behalf of RLO, so it's personal, I guess, for all of us here, but we do apologize for some of the choppiness and some of the lag that we're seeing in the stream. We are doing our best to try and fix the situation. Hopefully, we'll be able to get a cleaner sort of stream moving forward in this one, so we know it's not the cleanest feed that we all want. I mean, trust us when I say, like, we really do want to give you that clean feed. Hopefully things will be able to be cleaned up, but thank you for sticking with us nonetheless, and we'll continue to try to do our best, at least audibly, to paint the picture on what's going on.
That's it. And everyone's doing the best they can. Everyone works so hard at RLO. We were talking a bit earlier about how, like, Dover had to be forced to have a break, to make sure that, there was at least some time off for making sure everything was as good as possible. Best live broadcast, right? So, that's it. Yeah,
exactly. I mean, the hard work that goes into it, I mean, you see it, and usually, pretty much, even these situations, I mean, the product that comes out, I still think is top-notch, and a lot of that has to do with the teams, and a lot of that has to do with the people watching along. Yet, now let's talk a little bit more, I believe, of this matchup we're about to see. Team Fenrir versus the Direwolves. I hinted a little bit before going to the break that this could be another trap game for the Direwolves, because Fenrir and the way how they attacked the ball was so similar to the Renegades. It was these constant tight rotations, attack. Maybe it's not so much the Renegades that we saw at the later half of 2020, but definitely the Renegades that we saw for a majority of the year, and that was the Renegades that just always seemed to take the Direwolves out.
Yeah, and that's like, you kind of hinted about them being the kryptonite to the side of the Direwolves, but it is still a different team, right? Even if the attacking style is the same, even if the way Fenrir actually play is very similar, it is still a different team, right? There is still different things going on. And at absolute least, maybe there's like the fact that the actual nameplates are different might have something to do with it. It's like Fenrir, it's like, oh, that says Fenrir, not Renegades. We could beat these guys easily, is like the mental boost they need. But really, it's got to be crushing if Direwolves even start going down to Fenrir the same way they do against Renegades. That is a bit of a crushing blow to their confidence, right?
I mean, absolutely. This is the best situation the Direwolves have been in to sort of take one of these weekly events that we've seen in a very long time. When you looked at the top 4 teams, I kind of listened before, but number 5, kind of right up there with Mind Freak, would be the Direwolves. This is their moment, you would think, and it would be monumental for the Wolfpack if they were to come through and sort of prove themselves almost to be the superior Wolfpack, actually. I just realized both teams go with the Wolf logo. It's going to be a real dogfight, no matter how you look at it.
Hey, very nice. Very, very nice. I mean, to be fair, like, Fenrir is the big dog, right? The big wolf who's like, the ultimate, essentially. Almost like the deity of wolves, if you will. But it doesn't mean the Direwolves can't show their superiority here. They have been, in this terms of this roster, my understanding is they've, not necessarily the roster, but they have been, like, around the space for a fair while, so, Yeah,
I mean, exactly. We've seen this combo of Zen, Misty, and Fiber playing together for pretty much so far the entirety of RLCS Season 10. Occasionally Vive will substitute in, but majority of the time he will be that coach. And this team, they're fast, they're aggressive as well. They are super fun to watch. Fiber in particular, a player to look out for. He does some crazy things if given space, boost, and earnest. So he's going to be the one to watch out for. 1 minute into this game, no one's really established anything just yet. Sprat with the first chance, doesn't quite get that double. Riv is there, but it's going to be shut down from Fiber from above.
That's it. Once again, I've liked the offensive pressure from Fenrir, but like you expect that, right? It's not gotten them anything just yet. Direwolves able to hold on pretty well so far. But they have to keep going with that. You know, they can't really let those openings happen. There's a demo, 2 in the defense. Double commit. It's going to go straight back in. And actually, yeah, like Lurky just finds it. Lurky's been so great this last 2 series.
Oh my goodness. I mean, and doing that as well off the recovery from that first touch, he sees the double commit and knows he just has to put it towards the goal. It doesn't have to be hit hard. If he gets it past the defenders, that's going in, able to do just that. And it's interesting for me because the Direwolves are a team that, like, again, they do things like this. They get aggressive, they get breakaways, they put so much pressure on, and they almost get goals off the kickoff. Zen with another chance, puts it a little bit high. Follow through, though, will get stopped. Both these teams you feel like are going to be more comfortable on attack, and so far in this one, Fenrir definitely has controlled the tempo of the game.
Yeah, and that's something which I'm sure Fenrir feel pretty warmed up for, having just faced the Renegades. But it looks like they are just kind of outclassing at the moment. Sprat with a very nice goal there, pulling the defense of Direwolves just around all over the place.
Yeah, and so far this is a case of, you know, Fenrir playing the exact type of style that the Direwolves have struggled to in the past, which is, you know, so that tight rotations, constant attacks, constant threats on the goal. It's a little bit disheartening to see the Direwolves struggling against this, actually, considering that, like, I feel like this has been a weakness of theirs for a little while. But, you know, series is still early. There's still plenty of time for them to bounce back. I feel like if the momentum goes back into the Direwolves' way, they can do the exact same thing to Fenrir and really control the tempo, really control the attack. This game is going to be so momentum-based that, yes, Fenrir has control of it now, but the second they let up, look out, because the Direwolves, they're going to be hungry.
Yeah, I'd absolutely believe that, and they are. That's the thing, you mentioned, they are like a team who's got experience. They are good, they play well together. There is a reason that even if they aren't in that top echelon of like the top few teams, they are just sitting outside that looking for a way in. And I mean, right at the moment, Zen's trying to get a clearance out, but they do have to kind of make some sort of comeback into this game. Fiverr picks this one up, managed to juke it past Riv. Gets almost a back shot here from Misty, but it doesn't quite come to anything as Sprat's going to go straight back on the offense. And this is kind of where Direwolves have struggled a little bit.
As we do see a nice pass off that backboard, Sprat's going to go up for the ball. Doesn't make that clean read. Lurky has a chance. Off the sidewall, trying to throw it back towards the middle of the field, but didn't get that touch, and Fiber's already there to punish. Good setup for Misty, who will turn it into a shot, and the Direwolves do strike back within 1 with just under 2 minutes to play.
I forget there's a bunny girl in this game now. This is great. I'm very happy. Sorry, not take away from that goal or anything like that, but, you know, very impressive. But yeah, like, you kind of talked about the fact that Direwolves could turn it around, and it's only 2-1 at the moment. It feels like this game is a little bit less structured, a little bit more about kind of getting into the series and understanding how the series is going to play out. But, I mean, the fact that it's being kept close is still a good sign.
You know what? I'm okay with the Bunny Girl as long as we don't play on the Bunny Girl map. I'm just going to say it right now,
That's fair.
Rave
No,
map,
yeah.
I don't know what it's called, like Neon Rave or whatever. Worst map ever made. I said it. I said it. Visually, it's pretty, but playing on it, it is awful. And if we ever have to cast one of those games, I don't even know. So, anyways, 2-1 lead right now for Fenrir. They're going to go ahead and try and clear it up to the opposite end of the corner. And, well, it's a big clear, but Fiber now has possession of the ball.
I'm going to say that I don't even like the aesthetic of it. So there you are. We're just blaming it now, apparently. But here we go. 1 minute left. 1 goal disadvantage to the side of Direwolves. Weird way to say it, but you know what? It's fine. Makes sense.
Yep.
Right at the moment, they do have potential control of the ball if they can hold on to it. But in fact, it goes to Riv. Flicked up high on the defense, but it's just opened again for Lurky, and there it is.
Yeah, Sprat comes up huge with the demo right there, just opening the doorway for Lurky to smash that one through. Misty was trying to pass it back to Zen, and I mean, that's just a great read by Sprat to recognize the play that they're going for, and immediately taking out the player whose job it was to get that booming clear. Already, Lurky is in position to punish. 3-1 lead for Fenrir.
Yep, that's it. Plays it off the wall, but just goes straight back to Sprat. Once again, control contested here. Lurky, if that had gone in, it would have been just another to add to the highlight reel at this point, realistically. Riv gets the contest with Misty. isn't able to get it past it. But yeah, that's it right now. Fenrir back on the offense and feeling pretty good about it, especially if Fibra's unable to get some sort of clearance out here.
We do see 3:35 remaining in this one. Larky is able to get a touch. I just had a very scary experience. I'll explain what just happened later, but I need to regain my composure a little bit. Otherwise, Pratt goes for a touch, doesn't find too much, and Missy will find the clear.
Yep, that's it. I mean, they're on the attack right at the moment of Direwolves. There's only 20 seconds left, so, it's going to be all right. It's going to be realistically unlikely the Direwolves are going to be able to pull this one back. I'd say impossible, but, weirder things have happened, I think it's fair to say. As Fibra tries to put that one across with a 7-second coming in, I think we can actually call it impossible now. It's just going to be a matter of grounding the ball and closing out Game 1.
Yeah, that's going to be it. Game 1 is going to go to Team Fenrir. They get themselves that little bit of a win. I mean, continuing that momentum that they got from being the Renegades, and it kind of played out how I was expecting. Fenrir with that similar style to the Renegades. They attack similar to the Renegades, and they exploit the same weaknesses that the Renegades historically have been able to exploit against the Direwolves, where they sort of force these awkward double commits and then immediately punish because of the tight rotations. Again, if you're the Direwolves, it just comes down to a little bit better defensive communication, and they should be able to find better results, but it's hard when you're just getting pounded with as much speed that Team Fenrir, in particular Lurky, has been able to put out.
Yeah, that's it. You're absolutely right. When you're just getting the ball is always heading towards your goal, like it's magnetized, it's a bit hard to set up your own structured plays. That's a fair point. Also, credit to Lurky for topping every single stat except for demos.
Yeah.
Okay, that's pretty good.
That is pretty good. I mean, that's amazing, realistically. That's what you want to see. So Fenrir with the 1-game advantage. Moving forward in this one, the question will be, will they be able to keep that momentum moving? Again, we sort of cited it before. I feel like this is just going to be a heavy momentum-based series between these two teams. And if the Direwolves can take even 1 game back off Fenrir, it's easy to see a world where they'll then take the next 2 and then take the series. They're still the favorites in my eyes, but so far, Fenrir, they're looking better and better with each game.
Which is terrifying, because they didn't look too bad in the first game we saw them in, right? They weren't bad in that situation, but you're right. They're stepping up, and they're meeting every kind of challenge which is thrown their way, which just makes it so hard to beat them, because if your opponent's adapting before you've had a chance to really, build anything against them, where do you find your openings? Right at the moment, Direwolves going for another attempt on one of those kickoff goals. They've tried a couple of those so far, but not finding anything off it. Riv has open space, so does Sprat. Open goal, easy done, cleared out, 1-0 lead for Renegades right now. The Direwolves kind of gave that one a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, you see the double commit in the middle of the pitch, and the third member misses in the corner. That's an open net, and you cannot afford to make those defensive missteps. Not against an aggressive team, not against a team like Fenrir and the way how they're playing right now. So the Direwolves give up an early goal. Once again, they're on that back foot, and unfortunately, the momentum not with them. This is prime pickings right now for Fenrir to maybe just really exploit this team and start to pull away with it.
Yeah, that's the issue, right? It is the momentum which can be built immediately is a lot. It's there, right? Five managed to get it demolished to keep it out of the defensive line, at least for now. Zen's going to have a chance at running it up. Not quite an open goal, but managed to make a solid attempt off that one, and Fiber is there to back it up right now, and the pressure is on.
2 critical saves from Fenrir. Back-to-back missiles taken at the goal. Yet Fenrir makes, stop after stop. And the super impressive thing about those, they were rotational stops. It wasn't the same player jumping and panicking and just trying to do everything he could. It was controlled defensive efforts, and that is phenomenal to see. If Fenrir starts to play defense as well as they're playing offense, another goal, by the way, for Lurky, this team has such a high ceiling, and we are seeing either one of the best honeymoon periods ever or the emergence of another star team in our region.
I would be happy with the latter, honestly. I'd be really excited about that. And something I was actually wondering in Game 1, which kind of goes to the exact point you just made, but at what point do you stop calling, and kind of the same point I was thinking about Renegades at a few points in that series. At what point do you stop calling them an offensively talented team and just calling them a talented team when they make saves like that,
Absolutely, that's a big question. That's going to be a shot from Missy. That's going to find its way into the goal. Not sure what I just heard in the background right there, if that carried over. I don't think it did. But yeah, Direwolves, similar to our first game, they do get a goal right back. Sprat unable to get that pinch off the ceiling, and that's a 2-1 game.
That's a 2-1 game, and that's the thing. It's been kind of close like this. It's been tantalizingly close for Direwolves a fair bit of this, these first 2 games, but they haven't really looked like they've been solidly in control of it, which is the big problem, I think.
Yeah, we do see Zen looking to get something towards that backboard. Save made by Lurky initially, but puts it in a bit of an awkward spot. Riv off that backboard, can't make that read. The ball continues to be lobbed in the air. Riv wins a nice 50, actually able to follow it up. Open net, no! He doesn't have the boost, and Misty comes up huge with that first save. Sprat with the follow-through shot's going to be saved by Misty as well.
Oh, that's a little bit tragic there. Like, it's just, there's the goal. It's right in front of you, but you just can't reach it. I'm sure, Riv? Oh my god, Riv, what?
That was the greatest
game got
goal
weird.
I've ever seen. That was a double touch own goal. What?
No, I don't know. Like, we just got sucked into the alternate dimension where, like, Riv is, like, the biggest troll ever, and just everything is just, I don't even know what to make of it.
Oh, I am going to be so sad if that one didn't really get translated over, because, again, I apologize for the technical issues that players are having, but it literally looked, it wasn't actually a double touch when we saw the replay. He didn't get that first touch, but he spiked that thing into his goal with authority.
Yeah, it was like a warning shot to the rest of the team to be like, don't get complacent or I will score on you. Like, when your own player is finding holes in your defense, you gotta shore it up, right? I mean, it's not like, to be fair, it's not like not like Fenrir's defense has been awful, as we were kind of saying earlier, but like, no one can say for sure against Riv, I guess.
Absolutely. And I mean, yeah, going back to your previous point, absolutely, you have to agree. Like, just because the team is more comfortable on offense doesn't mean they haven't been playing phenomenal defense. And that's why they're looking like a scary team. That's how you beat the Renegades. And that's how you take a 3-2 lead over the Direwolves. Another shot from Lurky finds its mark again from the right corner.
Yeah, that's it. And like, they're able to like, I swear that after the Fenrir hits the ball, after Fenrir do hit the ball, you could say, it feels like it just gains slightly different physics. It's just bouncier. It's just able to do weirder stuff. And I know that's just like an illusion created by the finesse of this team. And to be fair, some of the slip-ups in defense as well, you know, you gotta say, from the side of Direwolves, but it's just like, it's just absurd. I mean, so is Sprat. Like, Alright, we're back in the regular dimension now. We're finished with our alternate universe, and Sprat's back to being stylish.
Okay, yeah, but can we talk about that entire exchange actually from the start? First, Fiber tries a reset goal, gets the reset, doesn't get the goal. Then we saw Riv go for the reset goal, but actually missed the reset entirely. And then Sprat pulls that off the ceiling. That was 3 freestyle shots. One of them does work out. It's the third one, and that's sort of what I expected, actually, between these two teams. I'm not going to lie. When I see these lineups, when I see how Fenrir is playing, it's sort of those exchanges I'm expecting right now. But typically, you would see the Direwolves coming out on top. But at the moment, it's been all Fenrir. And with a minute 20 remaining, a 2-goal lead, they could be going to a 2-game lead match point to get to the finals.
That's big. I don't, like, okay, realistically, if this game is, like, kind of solidified for the side of Fenrir, I don't see Direwolves making the 3-0, you know, after that, like, to come back, like the 3-game in a row sweep. I just don't know if I see that happening. Sure, it's possible, but it just doesn't seem likely with the way this game's going, you know? It seems almost impossible. And right now, I don't think they're going to be, I think they're going to be in that situation.
It's definitely an interesting situation, and it is a problem for them, but they still can bring it back. Again, the thing with the Direwolves, and I've said it a couple times, this is a big momentum-based team, and if they can find a way to take that game 3, if they can find a way to start to bring it back, I feel like 100% they can pull off that reverse sweep, but they have to make that first step, and we each agree we haven't been able to see enough from them to be able to pull that off just yet. So we'll see how we go going into this game 3, but if this trend continues, we are going to be seeing Fenrir in our grand final.
Yeah, and a 3-0 as well, right? Like, oh my god, that'd be a huge deal. And I do take your point. To be fair, I do take your point about Direwolves stepping up, managing to take a few games in a take a full run if they do start it off. So I guess it's like you can't get too complacent for the side of Fenrir, but like, realistically, they just look so good. And I mean, I would like to see a tricky overtime, like, or last second goal here, but yeah.
Yeah, we're not going to see it this time, but maybe we'll see it in Game 3. Maybe the Direwolves will start to bring it back Game 3 because they have to. Their back is against the wall, and I called this, you know, one of the best opportunities they've ever had to take one of these weekly tournaments. And they're letting it slip through these fingers, but I go back to what I say about Team Fenrir at the very start of the broadcast. Like, this lineup is a top 8 lineup. On their day, I can see them competing with the top 4 to like really try to make that push. Did I expect it to happen on their first outing, like their first time really seeing them again in 2021? No, I expected it to take a little while and, you know, maybe build up to it. But instead, they have just come out swinging. And right now, one game away from a grand final appearance, and they have all the momentum on their side.
Yeah, that's it. That's like, that's the big, that's a big thing, right? You talked about Direwolves with the ability to like flip that on its head. But I don't know, like I said before, I just don't see them being able to kind of pull this one back from here. I think that if it's surely it's just got to be the Fenrir sweep from here. Maybe you get a bit of a resurgence, maybe you get a goal back, but it just, Fenrir looks so good. Maybe I'd be less like doubting them less if they hadn't have just taken out Renegades before this, right? Because it's like if you take one miracle series off a good team, then like you can, like, people can still doubt you. People can still say, oh, it's circumstantial, it was the day, it was the game, it was whatever, people weren't playing well. But going back-to-back against good teams and putting up a really strong, dominant performance against them, at that point, you kind of can't make the point, like, you can't make the statement that it's just a miracle anymore. It is absolutely, definitively good play, and that's what I think is making me think that they might just take this series in this game.
Yeah, I think they're going to take the series, whether or not they can get that momentum to the final, and arguably, just as importantly, if they can take this momentum into this weekend and see how they go at RLCX. That will see Lurky goes for the double and gets it in with a bit of help. That actually looked like a bit of an own goal. I need to catch this again. I mean, the setup was there, that next touch there, but from underneath, yeah, Misty.
Ooh.
That's not the touch you want to see, and the Direwolves already put themselves on the back foot.
Yeah, that's not ideal. I'm sure it's, I'm sure it don't need me to say that, but I mean, Renegades, like I say, I think 3 or 4 of their games, they got the first goal up. It's not, that first few seconds goal isn't what makes it. Zen with a huge connection off the kickoff. You said that Direwolves can do this. They've tried a couple of times already, but Zen just using all the space in the world, floating, didn't even look like they were playing Rocket League in that scene. It looked like they were playing Flight Simulator.
That angle was disgusting, and that is dangerous because guess what? You open up the floodgates and the Wolves will come pouring in off the kickoff. Fiber gets the first lead for the Dire Wolf pack of this series.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, this is looking interesting. This is what makes this series interesting. Direwolves coming back, showing that they have bite. How many wolf puns can we fit into this? That's probably a lot. But, showing that they're still here, showing they still have bite. And especially with Misty going up for another one there. Riv being in a bit of the way. I didn't think that connection was probably what Misty wanted in general, but they're still in the attack. They're still going. They're still firing at this. Does go over the top. Zen doesn't find an opportunity to pass it off, so now maybe some room to breathe for Fenrir, but maybe not just yet.
Challenge accepted. As we continue with this one, Lurky's going to go for something, but not really going to find that goal just yet. Zen now's going to try to clear this one forward. Able to push it up, gets a play off that backboard. Lurky now waiting for something to try to connect to Riv with a pinch, but they don't get too much from it right there. Misty now, the second attempt as well towards the goal, but Sprat's going to make that easy save, and you can see the Direwolves are playing for the back. Sprat with that nice bump actually might set things up, but Riv goes straight into Lurky, and now the ball's dead. Lob shot should be stopped by Sprat, who misses it off the backboard. Misty open net, puts it up high, going for the waterfall, but Sprat makes the read in corner.
All right, we're back in the alternate dimension. Let's go. We've just got to ride it out if you are on the side of Fenrir, but they are holding on for now. Lurky drops it down. It's Lurky who's trying to pull this one through, though.
Lurky with 2 key saves right there, and now it's going to try to push it through that corner, but here comes Fiber. Tries to play up high, swings and misses on the bump play. Rib gets the save before being taken out by Misty, and now Lurky, space to work with. Gets it past the first defender. Tries to play through the corner as well. Sprat waiting in the box, but won't get a chance as the ball gets played out. Another double commit for Fenrir. They keep going for these pinches or double commits, and now they're starting to get burned by them. Misty with the double. Makes it look so easy. 3-1 lead for the Direwolf.
Yeah, that's it. You talked about the floodgates being open. It's absolutely happening. A few weird mistakes, I think it's fair to say, from Fenrir. There's a bit of unusual stuff going on.
The Baja men have asked the question, who let the dogs out? Well, Fenrir has let the wolves out in this one, and they're starting to pull away and get that momentum back. Yet Sprat could have shut it down. Riv will bury his bone, and it's a 2-3 game.
There we go. Well done. I'm not counting these because I just don't think I have the mental capacity. My arithmetic isn't that good. It's not like I can't count and cast at the same time. I think you've gone over what I can handle. But
I actually don't know that many. I just got them all out right now. We
That's
should
fair,
be good
okay.
Should be good moving forward. We'll see what happens. Fiverr's going to try to set up Misty, but Sprat will be able to get underneath, trying to use the roof to get himself back on the ground. Lurky with an absolute strike, and we are tied at 3 apiece.
You're absolutely right. Lurky has been unleashed in this series after already putting up a fantastic showing in the last one against Renegades. It just feels like Lurky's able to take these, just kind of pull everything out in the situation. Is still kind of running the scoreline at the moment. Just checking like all of the different stats in the game. Lurky's pretty much top of all of them. The only thing they're missing is assists, but that's okay because when you're scoring all the goals, Sprat has been an opportunity here, pushes forward. Lurky going for another one off the crossbar. Riv puts it in, and they're just going for it. There we are. Fenrir back in the lead.
So when you are the alpha, you don't need to get assists. The pack assists you. And this time, it's Riv actually assisting Lurky in getting that goal through. A 4-3 lead right now for Fenrir. They're back on top, and they've got to hold on for another 2 minutes, 15 seconds. It looked like the Direwolves had that momentum back in their favor, but now it is gone. Will they be able to bring it back in this one? I feel like one good goal could do it. Misty nearly finds it, but Lurky again with that save. Lurky in 2021 is absolutely insane.
I was going to actually ask before this game if I could change my pick, like before the series, if I could change my pick from Riv. But you know what? Misty's there too! Misty's a decent kind of oh my god, this is what you wanted, right? This is the show match. Yep. I don't mean show matches that doesn't mean anything. I mean show match because it's all show.
That was by far one of the best resets I have seen in a good long while. That was so clean, so fast from Misty. Blink and you miss it. Game's tied. Lurky again puts another shot on target. This time Zen's there to stop it, but here comes Riv. We'll try to play high through that corner from underneath. Misty tries to get the touch, but Riv is already there. Lurky pushing forward. Bump doesn't connect, and oh, it looks like everyone pushed forward. This could be dangerous. Direwolf trying to find that counterattack. Lurky still tries to slow it down enough. Sprat trying to play third man. Finally gets the touch in the corner. Tries to flick it up over the top of Zen and is successful in doing so. Do we see that attack? A minute 20 remaining and this game is on a knife's edge.
It is. It absolutely is. But it's so much more important right now for the Direwolves than it is for Renegades. You can make the point that giving the Direwolves the momentum back is a terrifying prospect. And there it is. Riv doesn't quite get to that one. Fiber puts it in. But I feel like how much it means for the Direwolves is what's important here, right?
Yes.
Like the opportunity to build that comeback you were talking about. Take the 3 games in a row. Renegades, I mean, you don't want to give it up. Sorry, Renegades, Fenrir, you don't want to give it up, but like, ooh, it's not that important, right? You can kind of keep going. It feels like they're having a bit of fun here.
Not against the Direwolves. Other teams, maybe. Not against the Direwolves. This is not a team you want to give up games against because they will punish you in the long run. Ball back across the middle. Misty! Oh my goodness. This is turning into a freestyle show as he gets the double off the wall. I believe, okay, it was set up by Zen, but still. Nutter shot.
That was, I think if Sprat left that would have been, I think that would have cleared out, wouldn't it? But we're pretty close too. But unfortunately, you can't know that, right? You can't have that, like, even some of the best players struggle with that level of insight. And it looks like Misty's just going for it again. Passed off to Zen, doesn't find it this time as Sprat gets a bit of an interception there. But I mean, something on the side of Fenrir has to stop this momentum if they want to take this series. It has to be stopped, maybe not right yet, but like soon, you know? Absolutely. Alarm bells are starting to ring, even if it's just the really, really, you know, don't worry, it's fine ones.
Yeah, it's definitely getting interesting at this stage. That's not how you clear a ball, Lurky, but unfortunately for the Direwolves, Riv was there to make that save, and Riv's actually going to keep pushing forward. That's going to be across the middle. Dangerous spot. Lurky's there. Zen throws it to the corner where Sprat is waiting. Pinch back towards the box. Zen has a nice read and stops Riv from fighting the shot, and now Misty should be able to punish Lurky. Trying to play defense against the goal instead of the setup. Riv will be able to find that clear, but with only 5 seconds remaining, it's all for naught. A big win and another goal on top, courtesy of Fiverr, and the Direwolves are back in this series as they will take game number 3.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, they are back in a big way as well. They're able to find these big offensive plays, the showiness, the style, the skill, everything you love to see in the Direwolves match is being shown in absolute spades in this match. There we are. There's a card reference instead of a wolf reference for you. Okay. A bit of variety.
All right, yeah.
But like, yeah, like they are absolutely being shown up here. And maybe you're right. Maybe they do take the run of 3 games. I don't. I'm not 100% confident in it. But maybe it happens.
It's hard to sort of base a series off a game where the scoreline has 11 goals scored in it. That was a high-scoring game, and it really started to turn into like seemingly a freestyle event, which each team sort of taking turns trying to one-up each other and what they can do. If we return to like more conventional Rocket League, 100%, I do feel like Team Fenrir can start to bring it back, but I don't know. The Direwolves, when they get that little bit of momentum, you know, when they get the scent of their prey, I should say, they hunt. And when they hunt quickly and efficiently. And we realistically saw that in game number 3. We saw how quick they were able to put those goals down. It's tough to evade a hungry wolf pack, and they are hungry right now. I mean, they've been starved so far. If they can take this next game, I 100% feel they are taking this entire series.
Yeah, I don't know about this one. I'm worried. I'm really, really worried. I just did not expect this kind of pickup from Direwolves. I'm worried for my prediction, by the way, I should say, because I sometimes don't specify this. I am very worried for my, don't worry, Fenrir have got this. I am a little bit unfortunate. I think it might be a bit of an unfortunate situation here. I think Fenrir are the ones to put the hand in the wolf's mouth and get bit, but it's whether or not they can come back from this.
Yeah, we'll see what they're going to be able to do. Look, I'm not going to lie. I was a little bit emotionally invested in the idea of the Forbidden Fenrir final just because of, like, you know, my Twitter post the other day. I don't know why.
Graphic design is your passion, I get it. It's
but
okay.
Unfortunately, we do have results. Solicit is going to the grand final. They were able to beat Forbidden 3-1. And Solicit, they have made their mark. Speaking of making marks, Misty with the low to the ground double takes the 1-0 lead.
That's it, and I mean, we might have neither of those teams in the finals. Like I said, there was only like a 25% chance of those two meeting each other. Love me some stats, but now those hopes are dashed. It could just be that exact opposite.
Yeah, it very well could be. I mean, and I know so far in this series, Lurky has been absolutely popping off, but I want to give some more credit to Misty as Zen says, don't forget about me as well. I'm going to get another goal in this, and less than a minute in, and already the Direwolves have put 2 on the board.
Yeah, that's it. It's incredible. They found a couple of really, really strong openings. I don't want to count out Fiber either, because some of those goals were very, very good. But you're right. I think that like in that last game in particular, Misty's ability just to come through for the team and really set up a lot of these plays and instill that confidence, I'm sure the Direwolves needed to really come back into this one. It's been great. They've sort of tightened up the defense a little bit as well, which is like, in 2 offensive teams, that's kind of the deciding, that can sometimes be the deciding factor. Here's Fiber going up high once again, gets challenged by Rivers. Zen tries to pick it up as well, but yeah, I completely agree with you about that. I think that's a very fair assertion.
See what Sprat can do right now in the 1v1. Isn't able to muscle out Fiber, but Lurky will be able to keep adding goals to Lurky's count. I don't know how you stop this player because he's just scoring everything he touches, and we're back within 1 and being poised for another real high-scoring game.
Absolutely. Lurky's just able to kind of strap on those jetpacks when they need to and just slam the ball into the goal from kind of any opportunity. Doesn't matter if it's a big, high aerial setup, if it's a bouncing setup, if it's like coming out of the corner, if it's just straight in front, like just the ball dropped in front of the goal, they're able to find these. Misty almost getting a good redirection off Lurky, still in a dangerous position right now. If you are a fan of Fenrir, I had to pause for a second. That one is a bit of a tongue twister. But they have managed to wrest possession back a little bit. Five with a very good interrupt. Kind of beats it past 2 as well. It's just Riv now on the defense who has to try and break this one. Tries to buy a tough time for Sprat. Ball goes across the face, which is a very scary position for it to be, but it's still in possession right now of the Direwolves.
We do see Lurky swing and miss on the clear. Riv gets an awkward touch as well. Leaves it up to Sprat. Tried to use the post for a bit of a pinch, but instead pushes it too far forward. Misty keeps it underneath the first defender, but can't get it past Lurky, who now is going to have to go 1v1 against Fiber. It's always a scary proposition. 50 goes across the pitch, and Misty gets there first, looking for that next touch, but Riv does enough to delay.
Yeah, that's it. They still haven't managed to, the Fenrir haven't managed to find a solid break just yet. Lurky and Riv in the same kind of space, not going to be able to use that as much as they might like, but Lurky's so good in the air. Fiber does just clear it out wide. Lurky's still in the play right at the moment. Going to get beaten out as Misty has another opportunity, puts up a bit higher. It's going to have to be that extra touch from Fiber to put it over the line, but it isn't quite going to happen. Zen follows it up. 3 players in one spot, and none of them going to be able to save that one for Fenrir. And Direwolves so strong in this game.
Yeah, and this is a lot cleaner of a game than our last one. I mean, we're starting to see more extended rallies, deeper plays, and the Direwolves are finding these goals by just being faster on the attack than Fenrir is on defense. You saw with that goal right there. There were defenders in position. They could have made that save, but for the first time, we're starting to see Fenrir hesitate a little bit, and if they don't have that swagger, if they don't have that confidence, well, this is going to happen again and again. Zen gets himself that hat trick again real quick after the kickoff.
That's absolutely it. And not to take too much away from this absolute show of dominance right now, but I do appreciate those trans dragons. I'm going to put it out there, you know, not to get political or anything, but those dragons are trans, and I appreciate them. They're valid. Sorry.
I didn't know the lore behind the dragons. I actually did not know that.
I don't know. They're pink and blue, and that's about it. Sprat fighting one. That's another dragon. That was green, though.
That's all I'm
so.
Anyway, so we watched Sprat just smash this one through off the kickoff, dribbles it in, and guess what? We're going back to a freestyle, so Fetch. That's what we're doing.
We are, and that's, you know what, I mean, it didn't work out too well for Fenrir last time, but they do keep putting points on the board. At least that's something, right? They're not going down without a fight. Sprat whiffs that one. Maybe not ideal. Zen gets a bit of a setup here. Might just get the double touch in. Riv able to block it and put it past Fiverr as well. It's up to Misty to try and set this one up, but Lurky has enough time to rotate back.
With that second touch off the roof, Sprat from underneath, the plans to put it in, but cannot get it past that post. That is so frustrating, one would think, for Fenrir. Sprat swings and misses, deep clear from Zen, and that turns into a goal, and again, the Direwolves back in control of this one. 3-goal lead, a minute 49 to play.
And it's just been Zen's punishes as well, right? It's just been Zen with like big, brutal punishes, pushing a bit further forward, being able to ping those through whenever a mistake is made. Sprat did drop a couple of misses there, which is unfortunate and also kind of uncharacteristic. So that was one of those things where it was just, you know, the mechs weren't quite there at that moment. And that's something which is fine, if it's, especially if it's uncharacteristic, right? If it's not like a repeatable error. Oh my god, the Riv!
Every time you think this game has like sort of been put away by one of these teams, the other team will strike back in some very dramatic fashion. Riv with a great read right there to get that second touch and put it past not one, not two, but all three defenders of the Direwolves in that situation. Fenrir back within 2, 100 seconds left. This game's not over.
It certainly is not. And if you blinked during that play, you would absolutely believe that Riv teleported. Like, that was just such a perfect jump from one position to another. Zen's got another opportunity here. Goes over one, has to contest Sprat, manages it, but doesn't get that second connection off the crossbar a little bit too awkwardly. Didn't get the height, but still another great setup. They're passing it back. Fiverr's going to go for this one. Try and see if they can make some magic happen. Got to be that Sprat once again, but Sprat just puts it out wide this time.
Minute 13 to go. 2-goal difference. Fenrir gonna have to find 2 quick ones if they want to secure at least an overtime in game number 4. Otherwise, we will be going to our second game 5 in a row. And I did say, you know, if there's any team that can pull off a reverse sweep, Direwolves are my peak candidate, and they're looking poised to go for it tonight as Misty tries to follow it through for the shot. Won't be able to get it past the defenders on this instance. Sprat's going to have one more go at it. Going for the dribble play. Maintains control at least until Fiverr steals it off him. Lurking from underneath. Stopped by Misty. And only 40 seconds left. They're running out of time, but Riv takes us back within 1.
Riv is kind of stepping up here. Like, had a bit of I mean, we call it in League of Legends a happy game. I'm sure if you're a European League of Legends fan, you're exactly what I mean there. Like, had a happy game a little bit before and is like, I'm here, I'm focused, and I'm going to destroy these goddamn wolves. And like, I mean, yeah, it's kind of keeping this team in it, right? A few individually good plays, a few capitalizations. They're still 1 goal down with 35 seconds left. It's not perfect. Riv goes up high and sets the play up again. Is keeping this going quite nicely. Where's Lurky? In position, finds the back of the net. There's the equalizer. Surely this is an overtime formal. I don't know if I can say that with any certainty, though.
Overtime starts now. Next goal wins this. That's how I feel. We've got 25 seconds left in regulation, but overtime starts now. The 2-goal lead. I don't know how many times I need to say it. That is usually the most dangerous lead you can have, although realistically, that was a 3-goal comeback in essentially with 100 seconds left to play, but they did it in about 80 this time around, and Lurky's got it again! Big save from Misty. Gets that pinch off the crossbar. Zen still trying to find the clear, but here comes Sprat. He'll put another one on target. Zen forced to make another big save. Now out of boost and already being challenged. Fenrir, they have their confidence back. They are being that aggressive, disrupting force that sometimes gives the Direwolves issues. Eventually, the ball does get lobbed in the air. Should get spiked down, but Riv actually keeps it alive. We'll get that next touch again off the wall, but it does touch the ground, and we have a game 4 overtime.
I feel like Riv there was like, no, someone's scoring here, and kind of looked at the position of the ball and was like, nah, it's fine, we'll go to overtime. Actually taking this really, really well. Fiber slow played that one almost a little bit too much as Lurky was there. Gets demoed by Fiverr. An opportunity here, maybe. A double touch. It pinches, but it doesn't quite go in the right direction. That was so scary for the first few seconds.
Yeah, there was power behind that, and if it had been accurate, that could have been it. Instead, we see Fenrir being forced to play a bit of defense right now, but Misty is still pressing forward. Doesn't get that second touch. Lurky tries to play off the backboard, but Zen will cut him off. That's a big demo. The net is all Sprat on defense, yet he finds the hit and the clear. Lurky now is going to try to chase there in time. Misty's trying to pass back to Zen, but Zen calls him off of it. Goes for the deeper pass. Oh, that is such a great fake pass. You throw it to yourself, then throw the pass, yet somehow Fenrir reads that defense.
Yeah, that's it. Sprat has been huge in that defensive line. We saw one mistake cost 1 goal, and then Sprat come back to save like 3 in a row. Fantastic stuff. They keep pinging it up the other side of the field, though, so Direwolves still have to be careful. They still have to be on top of their rotations as Sprat puts it up high. No one to pick it up there, so Fiverr's going to be able to bounce it back. This is tennis. This isn't Rocket League right at the moment, but we will see a team establish a bit better control. It might be Misty, who's a dangerous, dangerous player. Lurky does get an interruption of that one right now, so again, no full structured attacks coming out just yet, as Zen's doing so well to beat out so many players.
Riv, that was a tough read, because if you hit that ball too hard, you saw, I believe it was Fiverr starting to cheat up behind Zen, and that ball would have gone right to him. Riv had to find a way to throw it to the side and was able to do so. That keeps Fenrir alive in this game, at least for now, although Direwolves still have that major possession. It's going to be Misty again, looking for the shot, puts it a little bit in an awkward spot. Lurky almost delivered it right back to him. Riv from underneath actually gets cut off by Misty, and now the Direwolves are playing some of that Fenrir game, it looks like. Only 1 minute boost remaining. Riv actually misses the ball, but Sprat is there. Riv still turns it into a bump, and Sprat gets that second touch. It's off the backboard, but Lurky too far back. I mean, he would have to have been so far forward to turn that into a shot.
Yeah, and I love this aggressive positioning right at the moment. Double demo coming through from Sprat. That's the other big thing Sprat has been doing in these last few series right now. But yeah, I love how aggressive some of the positioning from Direwolves is, especially how good their rotations have been to make up for it. But Lurky's got the ball. Lurky's dangerous. Zen goes out wide for the moment, so we're okay. But once again, Sprat with the demo. It's 2v3 for the next little bit. As Fiber tries to set up an attack, takes some of the pressure off the defense.
And now with the Sprat with possession after that bump from Riv to get Fiber off the ball. Play in the corner. No one's challenging. That's actually one of the deeper challenges we've seen from Fenrir right now. I think they're starting to feel a little bit of that pressure, and they're playing further back than what we've seen before. Pass across the Riv. Gets that touch ball off the backboard. No one's going to jump up for it. Lurky instead waits for that touch. And this is actually interesting. Eventually, though, the crack is still found, and if Direwolves are finding cracks with Fenrir falling a little bit further back, that could be a worrying sign moving forward.
That's a really worrying side. I mean, I'm sure right in the moment Fenrir are kind of talking it through. They're playing it out together. Riv almost finds it. Lurky and Fiber, sorry, it's Sprat and Fiber right now here. Lurky will be the first one to get to it. The flick over the side, the pass after Zen, and that closes it just shy of the 3-minute mark. Direwolves with the composure.
Oh, Lurky, he pre-jumps it a little bit too early there. Fiber just needs to drive it straight, and the second he sees Lurky commits, he knows, I got Zen across the middle. That's GG. We're going to game number 5.
We are Direwolves. Oh no. They are coming back with a steamroller-like effect. I mean, Fenrir had glimmers of hope there for a little bit before Direwolves just closed it out. Off, admittedly, like you say, a small mistake in that one overtime, but they held on so well. All of the players putting in so much work to keep that going, looking for opportunity after opportunity after opportunity. But at the end of the day, Direwolves coming out with that, like, with the win, right? That's all that matters. It doesn't matter if it's 5-6, it doesn't matter if it's 0-6, it doesn't matter what the scoreline is. At the end of the day, Direwolves take it. We have one game to decide it all now.
Yeah, we're going once again to a Game 5, our second Game 5 of this stream, and with the amount of overtimes we've had, it's turned into a long night. I'm not gonna lie, this has been a bit of a marathon, but you know what? Wouldn't have it any other way to kick off the RLO Masters in 2021. So a lot of fun. This is gonna be such a big game. It's gonna be a back and forther again. I really do feel that way. But for Team Fenrir, I mean, it looks as if the Direwolves have been able to adapt to their aggression and sort of match it and then overcome it a fair bit. 13 goals scored over the past 2 games from the Direwolves, and if they keep up this fast-paced tempo, if they keep putting these kind of numbers on the board, they're going to go to the finals.
And if Lurky doesn't step up as well, there might be a bit of a struggle here, because you saw Lurky had one off half of the shots taken from the team. It's like, you know, on the offense, obviously, not on the defense, but like, that's huge. Lurky needs to keep this pressure up, and I mean, if you do kind of stop a player like that And, like, don't get me wrong, Riv and Sprat, absolutely huge. Sprat's defensive plays, the demos, everything working so well. But you can't put all that pressure on one player, right? That worries me a little bit, that if that's their win condition, it's not consistent enough. They have to be playing, like, really re-engage that team play they had before. Lurky trying to go for this play. Decent offensive pressure coming in from both sides. They're both able to mount attacks, but none of them really holding onto the ball for too long.
Misty from underneath gets a nice tap forward. Sprat will be able to challenge it away. Ball gets to the backboard. Fiber's already there. That's a nice pinch. That was a very nice pinch. It goes the entire distance of the field right now, but Lurky actually has an avenue to dribble this. Misty does make the read, but here comes Riv over the top of Zen, who got enough of it to push it into the backboard, and Fiber actually misses the ball right there, so Riv will keep the attacking pressure for Fenrir. We're seeing bumps, we're seeing shots. Zen, how many crazy saves has he got in this series? Because the answer is easily more than what you can count on one hand.
Yeah, that's it. Same with shots, to be fair. Like, Zen's just doing it all. Zen's playing fantastically. The entire... Misty stepped up in that third game win. Zen stepped up in that, like, game 4 win. And now, right at the moment, like what? Is it just going to be the Fiber show this time? It's like, again, it's not like Fiber's been playing badly. It's just like, these individual players have been able to show off, right?
Yeah. And it's unusual that it isn't Fiber. Usually when it's someone on the Direwolves who is popping off and doing crazy things, Fiber is your usual culprit, but hasn't really been the case. It's been kind of the Misty and Zen show for the Direwolves during this comeback, and 2 minutes into this game, and we've seen so many high-scoring affairs between these two, and finally we're getting more of our defensive match where each team, they're still going for these individual plays. We haven't seen too many of the team play setups just yet in this game, and I feel like it's actually been a lot of the team play setups that has resulted in goals thus far. I'm kind of curious to see who will establish that first big passing play.
Yeah, and I felt like that was actually something which was being done really well by the side of Fenrir in their first series, but they have to re-engage that. Like I said, Sprat with a decent setup, but no one there to pick it up. Unusually, Lurky playing a little bit further back, but I mean, here we are, another opportunity, but again, no one there.
Riv was there. He was just a little too tight that time around, unfortunately for him. And the side of Fenrir, Misty's going to try and clear it up the field. Ball gets to the backboard, but Fiber's going to be able to cut it off. Riv with another nice touch. Ball off the ceiling. Lurky goes for the 50-50. He's able to get it to that sideline. Let's see what Riv can do. The answer is not too much. Sprat tries to play through the corner, but it's going to be caught by Fiber. Nearly 3 minutes into this game. Still no score. Zed's about to try and break that, but Riv makes the save.
Yeah, that's it. These chrome orange cars are looking fantastic. They're always in position. They are so hard to get past. They are just like holding down just about every part of the field when they need to right at the moment. It's not looking great for Fenrir in terms of those opportunities, but again, Fenrir, they're able to find things from what feels like nothing. A great attempt going in once again. Riv just keeps it out wide though for now, but you know that Direwolves are well able to remount an attack after one shot has failed. It's something I've really liked about them. As Misty is kind of blocking these shots coming in from the side of Fenrir. But Fenrir still have moves to make, still have plays to be made as well.
Yep.
They got to do it, you know, they got to do it. That's the problem.
Oh, if Fiber had a bit more power behind that, I'm not sure Lurky makes that save. Minute 22 left to play, a 0-0 game, and I'm getting flashbacks to our opening game back when it was, you know, Fenrir versus the Renegades, and it went to 0-0 overtime. Fenrir did wind up losing that one. I believe Sprat, though, has that net, or does he? Fiber from underneath doesn't stop Lurky. That job's going to be left for Misty. Too crazy. I think that was actually a squishy save coming from Misty right there, and they somehow survived that attack. They're turning into some offense of their own, but they won't be able to find that quick goal.
This is uncomfortably quiet right now, Formal. This has been, what? Literally no goals in the last 4 minutes. It doesn't feel right. Sprat's trying to change it with the help of Lurky, but once again, just flicked out this Direwolves line holding very well in defense. No! Sprat misses the drop down, though.
Oh, that
doesn't get it. Fiber's got to run.
That could have been it. Fiber gets past Riv, but is able to recover it. Now Sprat should be able to try and clear, but watch out for Zen's defensive effort. He actually misses it. Lurky is there, but he can't make contact on the ball, so Misty makes the relatively simple save. Now possession back into the Direwolves, and again, we're starting to see these individual efforts. It's these individual clears up the sidelines. Lurky doesn't get the second touch, although there's a demo. It doesn't turn into a goal. 10 seconds left to play in regulation. Next goal wins this series, goes to the grand final. Direwolves put on the shot, but with the demo and the save, Fenrir stops it for now. Another shot from Fiber, stopped by Riv. Lobbed all the way back to the orange side of the pitch. Lurky gets the touch through the corner. Underneath, Riv is there, but so is Zen. Keeps the ball alive. Gets demoed. No, got the demo on Sprat, but it doesn't matter. Ball hits the ground. Game 5, overtime for the second time tonight.
Nerves of steel from the Fenrir side, but they've got to make sure that deep breath is taken and then immediately they re-engage. They've got a bit of an attacking opportunity right now, but they have to be so careful in their execution to not get punished, as we've seen happen before from the Direwolves. Zen's going to get a clear out, and Misty's going to try and solidify that one. Took a fair bit of resources to get that one out of attack. Riv managed to get a demo into Fiverr as well, so that's going to help for a little bit, but they have to be careful. Like I say, they can't overextend. They can't make the same mistakes they've made in these overtimes before.
That's a good touch from Fiverr, but won't be able to contact with Zen, although that's a weaker touch by Riv. Opens the door for Zen initially. Lurky from underneath does what he can to buy time. Fiverr still keeping the attacking pressure moving for the Direwolves. Eventually, though, Sprat thinks he has to clear. Lurky's in an awkward spot, so it will be a weak touch, and with Riv not pushing forward, possession goes back to the Direwolves. Zen off the wall, but Riv from underneath will take it away. Gets the ball all the way to the corner. Misty will lob it up right now. We see both teams just sort of trying to feel the other out, waiting for that chance to strike. It's going to be the reset from Misty. Sprat somehow gets the save.
Again, like everything which Direwolves is doing is so good. It should be going across the line, but again, the nerves are still coming in from Fenrir right at the moment. I mean, the Direwolves still have plenty of other opportunities. They've got so many other moves they can make, and they do feel a little bit more in control right at the moment. But there is still that matter of actually closing it out as well. Fiverr coming in from the wide angle, taking the ball up high, trying to keep control of it as well, get it past the defender there, who was Lurky, I believe. In fact, it was. Sprat's going up. They can't get too overzealous and trying to push these attacks out. As Lurky once again bouncing it off the backboard, but still control from the Direwolves.
That was a banger of a shot off that backboard. Let's see what Riv can do. Has a lot of boost, uses a good chunk to maintain that possession. Couldn't connect with Sprat, however, on that shot, and that was a pretty big commit. It leaves Riv on his own, and Riv is beating Zen. Open net, and the Direwolves are going to the grand final.
Once again, bit of an overcommitment. 3 players up in the attack. They don't find the execution. It all comes down to one player who just couldn't quite find that last connection. Tragedy, of course, for Fenrir, but Direwolves pull it through. They may not be able to beat the Renegades, but they can beat their current for this tournament replacements. Direwolves, you said this is their chance, you said this is their shot, and they are taking it very seriously.
I also said they were the team most likely to get a reverse sweep, and here we are. Our first reverse sweep of the year. So we've got our first upset, our first reverse sweep, 2 game 5s in a row, with game 5 overtime in this one. And just looking at these stats, I mean, 18 to 16 goals. It was a scoring fiesta. 49 to 48 shots. Sorry, 49 to 49 shots as it gets updated in front of our eyes. Equal shots, 1 goal difference between the two at the end of it all. That series was so close, so tight. But credit where credit is due. The Direwolves get their win. They bring it back. This is a momentum-based team, and now they've got that momentum as they get ready to take on Solicit in what's going to be our grand final.
Wild grand final. Very, like, I don't even know what to make of this one just yet. We had so many expectations coming into it. We knew how it was going to go. It's like 2021. It's going to be the same as the end of 2020, right? It's going to be, we know how it's going to go. We know the structure. We got the idea. Absolutely not. All thrown out the window, and I am so interested to see how this is going to go. I say excited all the time, and I think that, you know, seeing top teams clash, seeing the Clash of the Giants and all those things is great. But realistically, the ball is there. It's teed up for Direwolves to smack it out of the park and take themselves a really good win on this week of the RLO Masters. But, like, they still have one more challenge to go through who's, you know, I think you were saying is a bit, like, reformed a little bit of an unknown factor here.
I mean, I always underestimate Solicit. It's something that I always happen to do, and I need to learn my lesson, I feel like. I can't keep undervaluing this team because they get wins. That's going to be our matchup when we come back. But before we do, I want to quickly run it back. Remember at the start when I said I got spooked by something and I was going to come back to it later? We're going to experiment a little bit right now, so stick with me. I want to show you what's behind my computer monitor. It's a dark, black, horrible window, and you can kind of see outside, actually, because of the lighting. Pretty much a shadowy figure just, like, emerged from the shadows in the middle of the game and just started banging on my window. So I did what any normal person would do and opened it up, and he just handed me a bag of chips and then walked off. So that happened in the middle of our first game. Let's go. I over-exaggerate a little bit. The shadowy figure did turn out to be my roommate, but he was like kind of like hidden up, and I couldn't really tell who it was before he got on close. I digress. A funny little story. Doesn't have to do with anything. We're going to throw to a break, and when we come back, it's going to be our grand final. So stick with us. More Rocket League when we return.